Ipoh. I'm working as a safety executive. So I'm working in a small fabrication company, which is memang tak ada BCP plan before, and apa-apa because it is a small fabrication company and we have contractors such as for Lafarge, YTM, and Perak Anjung. What I know is what is business continuity plan is, or my knowing, because our company never implement or don't have BCP plans, so I just go through the from my notes. So business continuity plan is a process of creating system of prevention and recovery to deal with potential threats to a company before and after during the disaster recovery. And BCP has several types of disaster that can partially completely interrupt their operations, such as natural disaster including floods, fires, earthquakes, tornadoes or hurricanes. Okay, why we need to do BCP in our organization is to avoid any mitigate risk associated with the disruption of operations, and also a second one is steps to be taken before, during and after an event to maintain the financial viability of an organization. Okay. The importance of BCP for an organization is there are 5 steps. One is risk assessment, BIA business impact analysis, H1 business continuity plan development and plan implementation, and the 5th is plan testing and maintenance, which is the last one, to implement and do the testing of the BCP plan. Okay, this is the model of the BCP analysis: first, solution design, implementation, testing and acceptance, and maintenance. This is a business continuity planning life cycle. So this is the life cycle we have to go through one by one to get a good result from our BCP plan. Okay. How to start a BCP, which involves 6 general steps. First is identify the scope of the plan, what we are going to do to the organization. Second is identify the key business and the areas which we are going to focus. Number 3 is identify the critical functions. Identify dependencies between various business areas and functions. Determine acceptable downtime for each critical functions. Create a plan to maintain the operations. Okay. Before start BCP plan, there are several steps that must be performed. Step 1 is identify the scope of the plan. Form the business of the continuity team to conduct the BCP, and then conduct a BIA. Number 4 is strategizing the planning. Number 5, compilation and the documentation for backup. And there's also a BCP policy. BCP policy is a set of standards and guidelines for an organization. Enforces to ensure realize resilience and proper risk management. And the third is to set realistic expectation for business continuity and disaster recovery. Okay. What is the difference of BCP and disaster recovery? A business disaster recovery plan has the capability to restore data and critical applications in the event of our system when the disaster strikes. Okay. Who is the responsible person for the BCP is, of course, business community coordinators from our organization and from the team. And his role is to development and maintenance of the business continuity plans and the processes, and he must identify the risks and provide solutions to help manage and minimize those risks when the disaster came and after when before. Okay. Why BCP failed? Because wrong estimating, wrong planning, focus on the wrong thing, no disaster experience before, not share with everyone, not updated, and no testing. And the last conclusion is aim and objective of the true recovery and protect business strategy on how the business will continue before and after several interpretation of the system. Thank you. And I have some simple example. Because my company don't have a BCP plan, but I'm working as a contractor. We are working in Lafarge and YTL. So our main BCP is finding is our tender with our client, especially how what I mean is client they won't negotiate. You cannot negotiate with the client. So we can plan. Okay, this job should be done within a 10K or what, but the client only accept only for 6K. So this plan what we have done, because we supply manpower, our tools, our equipment, this is all the costings. So this one should be planned properly. So how we should plan our maintenance during shutdown. So that's all. Thank you. Any questions?
Right, Mr. Kumar, I do have a question. You mentioned that your company does not have an established BCP program or BCM, right? Okay, can you share with us again what is the most critical threat that your company has? I know you just mentioned about tendering and all that,
Yes.
but how do you come about? Is that really
Yes,
a
effective.
threat to the company?
Yes.
What will you do? Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Okay, because we as a contractors, we have a lot of competitors. There are a lot of contractors compete as tenders. So in such case, all the failures will be for all the contractors, even us. The failure is on the tender costing, because each person they have differentiate of prices. So to recover it, we have to sit as a team. This is not a personal one. Like 2 days before, we had a typo tender in Johor. So we sat until midnight and to do all the tender and the costing to compete and to get the job. So this is the risk. So when we tender, we lose the job. When we lose the job, we don't have any work progress in our organization, because we are just a small fabrication company.
Okay, but I'm still not clear. What are the things with the fabrication company? Once you get the tender, you do the job. What are the threats or the risks that would lead the operation or get the operation into a crisis?
Okay. The difference between is, okay, like we have fabrication. Okay, just say we are doing a fabricated chair. Okay, with the costing, they say this chair costs 10K, and the material required by client is 15K. So when we do a tendering, we put up 10K, but they require the material is a very quality material, so we can provide it. So this is the risk we are facing.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you very much.
Good job.